I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson on subject and predicate, right? And just before we start, we are experiencing a technical issue with our A plus students. With A plus students, right, with that platform. So unfortunately, we won't be able to work on the A plus students platform today, right? But we are going to continue with our lesson, and we are continuing the lesson on subjects and predicate. All right. So we are just going to continue on the whiteboard, and then we're just going to go over subjects and what a predicate is, right? All right, so like I say, we are not going to A plus students.ca. We are not going to be able to do our test or work on our tutorial for that matter, right? But we are going to continue with subject and predicate, right? And we will basically have a conversation based on that for the rest of our session. So we said that we go to the whiteboard. Our chapter is subject and predicates. Our subject is English language arts, grade 8. All right. So when it comes to subject and a predicate, right? So subjects and predicates are usually subject tells us either who or what is doing the action within a sentence. So the complete subject, right, includes all the words in the subject, right? The main verb or group of words in the complete subject, and they call that a simple sentence, right? It also tells us who or what is doing the action. And then we have a predicate, right? And predicates includes all words within the predicates. The main word of the group of the word in the complete is called the simple predicate. So we're not going to go over once again what a subject is. We said we are doing subjects and predicate. We're going to go over what a subject and predicate is. All right. So when it comes to a subject, right, as we see the subject is either who or what is doing the action within the sentences, right? But then we have a predicate, right? It is used in two ways in logistic and subfield, right? It defines everything within a standard declarative sentence except the subject. So it is everything except the subject, and it starts with the verb and everything else after the verb. That is our predicate. So basically, it's our predicate is our verb. Yeah, they're not giving such a proper explanation, but it says it the complete subject include all of the words or all the words within the subject, right? So which means that when it comes to subject, all right. So we can say remember also with the subject, right? A subject is, so for example, if we say the subject is Nadine, and then it is Nadine and basically whoever that we're talking about, even if it's Nadine and Sarah, right? And then that is our predicate, whether it is a compound subject or it is just, for example, we're just talking about Nadine, right? And then we have a predicate, right? And a predicate is like the verb and all the other words that comes with that comes after that specific verb. So it basically tells you who or it tells you what the action or what the person or what the action is that the person is doing. The action. All right. So we say that with a predicate, right? Because a predicate, it's almost like it's the verb, and then they're telling us it's all the other words that also comes with that, right? So it's the main word or the group of the words in the complete predicate, and they say, and it is called simple predicate. All right. So also with our subjects and our predicates, subject it tells us who or what is doing the action. Then we have a predicate, right, which is basically the action and everything else after the action. Then we have a compound predicate, and a compound predicate has two or more simple predicates with the same subject. All right. So we are going to complete our lessons on subject and predicate by going to a plus classes.ca. And then we're going to resources. Let me just go back so that you can see. We're first going to reading, grades, sorry, going to choose grade 8. Then you're going to scroll down up until we get to language arts. And then we're going to practice grammar, which is the second one. Practice grammar in this language arts booklet. All right. So now we're going to subjects and predicates, right? And we see that the complete subject includes all the words within the subject. The main word or the group of the word in the complex subject is called the simple subject. So we have simple subjects also, right? And a compound subject has two or more simple subjects with the same predicate. All right. And then we have our predicates, right? And it says that the complete predicate includes all the words within the sentence. The main word or group in the complete predicate is called a simple predicate. All right. So we see that we have our subject, which is the person or thing that is being spoken about. And then the predicate is, of course, our action plus all the other words that goes after it. So we're going to now identify, subjects as well as predicates, right? And when we identify subjects and predicates, it says write whether each sentence has a simple subject or a compound subject and a simple predicate or a compound predicate. So a simple predicate is the main word or group of words in the complete predicate, right? And the compound predicate has two or more specific predicates with the same subject. So we need to write whether each sentence has a simple subject or compound subject and a simple predicate or compound predicate. Then underline each simple subject and simple predicate. All right. It says number one says, did you read and understand the homework assignment? So we say, did you read and understand the homework assignment? So we need to write each sentence. We need to say if it's a simple subject or if it's a compound subject, simple predicate, compound predicate. Then underline each simple subject and a simple predicate. So did you read and understand the homework assignment? The next one says, she and Elizabeth will join us at the play. All right, so we said, did you read and understand the homework assignment? And we can say this is just a simple sentence, a simple subject. She and Elizabeth will join us at the play. So she and Elizabeth will join us at the play. So this is a compound subject. I know that lovely melody. All right. Number three says, I know that lovely melody. So I know that lovely melody. I know that lovely melody. All right. You and I would rather eat apples and bananas, and that is a compound subject as well as predicate. So if we were to go to the number four, which says, you and I would rather eat apples and bananas. Then once again, you and I, we would say it is a compound subject. So we will say this is a compound object because you and I, apples and bananas. So that's a compound subject. All right, let us go on to the bottom one. So long, so long. We will come back again. All right. So if we were to identify, let's go to, if we're not going to rewrite, not that one, we go up here. We're not going to be making a subject and a verb agree, right? We're going to make a subject and a verb agree, right? By looking at the specific subject, and then we are going to have to let the verb agree with that specific subjects or subject. So we are now going to choose the correct verb by using it either in a singular form or in a plural form. Singular meaning it's only one person. Plural refers to two people, two or more. We need to underline the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. Number one says, John and Tanya, do we say was or were very upset? So we can say John and Tanya, which is two people, were very upset. So they were. Parents and friends sometimes, do we say shout or shouts a lot at basketball games? So parents and friends, they sometimes, do we say they sometimes shout or they sometimes shouts a lot at basketball games? Parents and friends. All right, so we will say parents and friends sometimes shout a lot at basketball games. And laughter, do we say laughter swell or swells up in his chest and nearly make or makes him choke? All right. So number three says laughter. Do we say laughter swell or swells up in the chest? All right. So we can then say laughter swell. It says swells. So we can say what laughter swells up in the chest and nearly, do we say make him choke or nearly makes him choke? She write. Do we say she write or she writes to her family each day? She write or she writes to her family each day. She is alone, right? Our verb needs to agree with the subject. All right. So if we say she write or she writes to her family each day, do we say she write or she writes to her family? She to her family each day. So we need to choose the correct subject and verb to agree. She write to her family each day or she writes to her family each day. And if we were to write the correct one, we will choose that she writes to her family each day. Let's say she writes. And then the last one says peas and carrots. Vegetables, peas and carrots. Carrots, sorry. Do we say is my favorite vegetables or do we say are my favorite vegetables? Peas and carrots. Is my favorite vegetables or are my favorite vegetables? Peas and carrots. All right, so we will say peas and carrots are because it's referring to more than one veg. It's peas and it is carrots, right? We didn't just say vegetables, we say peas and carrots. All right. Because we still need to identify the subjects as well as the predicates, right? The subjects within a sentence as well as the predicate. We need to say if it's a simple subject or a compound subject, simple predicate or a compound predicate. All right, so Kins, we stopped by number 4 of identifying subjects and predicates, right? So we can say you and I would rather eat apples and bananas. So you and I would rather eat apples and bananas. you and I. And if we were to choose the correct one, we would say it is a compound subject. So compound subject. All right. The next one says, the boys jumped through hoops for us. The boys jumped through hoops for us. Boys refer to more than one boy. The boys jumped through hoops for us. Is it a simple subject or compound subject? Or is it a simple predicate or compound predicate? The boys jumped through hoops for us. All right, so if we say the boys jumped through the hoops, right? It is an action that they did. So we can then say the boys, right? Is a simple subject. All right, it's a simple subject. All right. So when it comes to also simple subjects, right, and simple predicates, we specifically say that a simple subject, it is also, it shows us who or what is doing the action or who or what is doing something within that sentence. It can be one person doing something or it can be more than one person doing something. If they show the conjunction, right, to join two words, for example, if they say Anne and Ben, for example, then we call that a compound subject, right? It's a compound subject which basically shares one verb. And then we say the predicate is our action, our verb, and the rest of the sentence, right? So then with our predicate, it is basically the action that is being done. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on subjects and predicates. Thank you very much for joining the class. I really hope you're going to have a good evening further. Goodbye.